Welcome to another production of Source Selection Soundbites. These productions foster learning, insight, and the ability to perform. Today's topic is basic FAR guidance about oral presentations. Today we will discuss the suitability of the oral presentation technique for the acquisition, the things to reduce to writing, and what information the government needs to provide in the solicitation to obtain useful information from the oral presentations. Oral presentations are suitable for a wide range of situations, particularly when engaging audiences about complex ideas and facilitating interactive learning. They excel in situations where immediacy, emotional expression, and relationship building are crucial. Audience engagement is a crucial aspect as it helps customers and contractors to connect on a common subject matter and fosters deeper engagement than the written word. It allows the customer to see and feel those who will execute the solution. It is also an excellent method of summarizing complex ideas so they are easily understood. Orals allows interaction so any misunderstanding can be clarified and the customer's understanding of the vendor's solution or approach can be deepened. In this setting, the vendor may even adapt to agency hypotheticals by stating how they would approach changing circumstances. As we have learned, it's also good for audience participation, which includes questions and discussions about work statement topics. Through these interactions, the agency can understand the team's interaction and leadership style and its thought processes. Beyond the standard dynamics involved with oral presentations, the FAR specifically states to consider four things. The first is the government's ability to adequately evaluate the information. This pertains to the information that will be presented in the oral format and how effective the evaluation will be in choosing the right offeror. This is connected to the kind of information that needs to be presented in order to make a viable decision. The second thing the agency must consider is what needs to be incorporated in writing. If a solution needs to be incorporated in the resulting contract, it cannot be provided orally as oral presentations cannot be incorporated by reference. Therefore, the agency should consider what will be included in the resultant contract. Third, oral presentations are efficient, but at the same time they are not. They require time to implement, thus, they may not be suitable for the government circumstance. Lastly, the government must consider the cost to small businesses. To reduce barriers for small businesses, the agency should consider how to lower the cost of participation with methods such as digital meetings that eliminate travel and accommodation costs as well as other payments. In certain situations, oral presentations are less effective. Thus, in these situations, they should be avoided in government procurement. Although they save trees in the form of written proposals, they can't really be done on a whim. They require time for preparation and delivery. So if the government has a timeline of 2 months or less to get an award in place, it should use another streamlining method such as an award based on past performance and price or short written technical proposals. So when the government considers the impact on efficiency, the real question is whether the government can finish within its schedule if oral presentations are incorporated as an evaluation technique. Another situation where oral presentations should be avoided are when their utility would be diminished because large amounts of data or detailed numerical information need to be presented. If the information cannot be summarized and easily presented for prompt digestion of the audience, it may be better to go with traditional proposals that contain written detailed information and visual aids to support the understanding of it. This closely aligns with the question as to whether the government can evaluate the information. The last topic is similar to the issue that was just presented, but it pertains to what the offeror needs to do to effectively convey the information. When the audience needs a step-by-step walkthrough of a proposed approach in order to properly understand it, those situations should also be handled by other methods such as written reports or short videos. Even though oral presentations eliminate written technical and management plans and reduce paperwork, there are still some things that need to be in writing. This includes representations and certifications and a signed offer. The signed offer needs to acknowledge all material amendments, as this demonstrates the alignment of the parties on contract terms and conditions. Next, if the agency allowed exceptions to the solicitation, they should be set forth in writing. In addition, enhanced warranties in commercial and non-commercial situations should also be set forth in writing as they govern how replacements, fixes, and updates are managed by the parties. Lastly, any technical solution that needs to be a part of the contract needs to be in writing. For example, when the agency publishes a SOO and the resulting PWS and QASP will be submitted with the offer, this information needs to be in writing. What this requirement demonstrates is that some paperwork can be eliminated via oral presentations, but not all of it. Court cases have established that the agency must provide sufficient information about the expected content of the oral presentation. To that end, the FAR provides guidance on this topic. First, the agency must set forth the types of information to be presented orally and the evaluation factors associated with the information presented. The agency must also provide details on the qualifications of the personnel required to present the oral presentation. This is usually tied to the key personnel that will lead important areas of the requirement. This gives the agency the opportunity to understand the depth of knowledge, the interaction, and leadership of the management team. The agency must also provide limitations on the offeror in terms of its limitation on written material and other media. This would include the limitation on the number of slides in the slide deck, the inability to use digital support for reach back to other resources, and usually the contractor cannot record the presentation. This ensures there is one record of the oral presentation. Next is the location, dates, and times of oral presentations. Usually, the agency knows the location of the oral presentation when the solicitation is published, but it may not know the dates and times because often it does now know who will be invited to provide an oral presentation. When using the phased evaluation approach, the agency often invites the most highly rated offerers to present their solution. The most the solicitation can give is the general format the oral presentations will take, such as activities and time constraints. The time permitted for the oral presentation sets forth the upper limit of the time the agency will give a contractor to present its approach. The agency may use less time, depending on how the dialogue goes. The important thing to understand is that each activity in oral presentations is time-bound. The scope of the communications that will take place as oral presentations is critical information to provide. The government should state whether discussions will be allowed in the context of oral presentations and the type of activities anticipated during the dialogue. To wrap things up, let's review what we discussed. We discussed the suitability of the oral presentation technique for your procurement. Second, we discussed the parts of the proposal that must be in writing. And third, the government's provision of sufficient information in the solicitation to obtain effective oral presentations. Thank you for watching another episode of Source Selection Soundbites. For additional information, check out some of the other videos in this series, other Productivity Partners materials, or our Source Selection Answer app that is available on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. In any event, thanks for watching, and see you next time.